Hello, everybody. Welcome to cricketworld.com. We are back again with our daily match insights video. And today we are looking at the second day's play in the second test match between England and India. This is part of the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. I've got, as always, my colleague and friend Nikhil Narayan with me. Nikhil, second day's play in the second test match. How did you see this day's play? Because India took command of the test match thanks to their skipper scoring a double hundred, his first double hundred. He broke a number of records along the way. How did you look at the second display?
Yes, Chandesh. Great knock by Shubman Gill. On day one. On day two of the second test at Birmingham. Absolutely brilliant double hundred by him. 269, the highest score. By an Indian in England, surpassing Rahul Dravid and Sunil Gavaskar, the only two other double centurions in England for India, and 269 of Chandesh of 387 deliveries. So a strike rate of almost 70. So he managed his innings very well. There were periods in which he was circumspect. He respected the England bowlers when he needed to, but then there were periods when he attacked. Like uh, if how we saw that from 211 for five, we all saw Shubman Gill, stepping up the accelerator towards the close of play on day one, and then again Shubman Gill, accelerated when he lost Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar, how he partnered the strike with the tail enders, the brilliant partnerships he had with Ravindra Jadeja 200 century partnership with Washington Sundar, how he dominated those stands also, picking up the scoring rate in different phases of play, taking the attack to the spinners. So Shubman Gill planned his innings beautifully. It was a masterclass knock by Shubman Gill. Only second test captain shows volumes of his character and ability, and to do it, in two centuries, two matches in a row, with so much on your mind, a lot being said about the Indian bowling lineup. So kudos to Shubman Gill for his absolutely brilliant knock, on day one and day two in Birmingham, Chandresh.
Yeah, I was just thinking that before this tour, his record away from Asia was terrible, to say the least. If we were to be a bit charitable to him, what has changed for him in these two test matches? Is responsibility sitting well on him?
I think so. I mean, a lot of he see. Remember, he responsibility doesn't come. It's not new to him. He's the captain of Gujarat Titans. He has experience. In leading teams in the domestic level also. So he has been vice captain also. So Shubman Gill, responsibility is not something new to him. Although there were others in the Indian team who were maybe ahead in the pecking order, like Jasprit Bumrah. There was Rishabh Pant also in the fray. But Shubman Gill was a bit of a surprise given the Test captaincy. But I think he's done well in the first two Tests. Although India lost the first Test, but I think Shubman Gill did whatever he could. I mean, yes, he was a little defensive at certain points, but that you can understand. First Test in England, India dropping a lot of catches. You can understand that. But in second innings, I think he's been spot on so far. Even if you see his captaincy, the field placements when England were batting in the first innings, yes, on day two in Birmingham, were absolutely brilliant. The short mid wicket he had put against Joe Root, and Joe Root almost, was out, at that position. So very good field placements in and out field. I think he's learning fast from the England from Ben Stokes himself. So I think Shubman Gill has shown immense maturity, on this tour of England, his first international, tour as Test captain.
Also, you spoke about that partnership that Shubman had with Ravindra Jadeja that was worth about 203 runs, and then he shared another partnership with Washington Sundar, which was another 140 odd runs. So the decision to lengthen the batting order with all rounders was justified to some extent.
Uh, I mean, in hindsight, you can say that, Chandresh. Although I would still have picked, let's say, a Kuldeep Yadav instead of, maybe one of the all rounders or one of the proper batters. So it's very difficult to justify a decision in hindsight, because the real test, India has got 3 wickets, but I still think Joe Root, Harry Brook, Ben Stokes, it's not going to be that easy for India on day three. So I think the real, we'll see the proof of the pudding with what happens on day three with India's bowling. Akashdeep started brilliantly, but we'll see what happens. So I think I would have still played Kuldeep Yadav, given that Jasprit Bumrah was not playing in this match. Uh, but but overall, I think India would be happy that at least one of the all-rounders in Washington Sundar has contributed with the bat in this match, and a very important partnership with the skipper Shubman Gill. Nitish Reddy unfortunately could not contribute with the bat, but he has a chance to do well with the ball.
Yeah, a word on English captain Ben Stokes. Did he appear lost for ideas in your view?
Yes, I think when at 211 for five, I think England were hoping to wrap India up for even below 275. The way India's lower order batted in the last Test match at Leeds, in the opening Test match at Leeds, in both the innings, they would have certainly aimed at bowling India out for under 275. But India surprised everyone. The way Ravindra Jadeja, a more positive Ravindra Jadeja batted with Shubman Gill, that brilliant 200 century partnership. And then Washington Sundar and Shubman Gill. Washington Sundar initially looking a bit, rusty, but then showing stubborn resistance. 42 of 103 balls, but he played out time. He played out time, and that was very, very important, because Gill step up the ante from the other end, and that partnership basically what it has done, it's taken India to a position of safety. It will be very difficult for India to lose this test match from here. Even if they do not win, depending on how England bat, it will be very difficult for India to lose. And that is, and that is what India would have wanted, especially when you rested Jasprit Bumrah, and he'll certainly play the Lord's Test. So to go 0-1 down, if it's not 1-all, I think that is what India would have hoped. And then Jasprit Bumrah comes into the fray at Lords. So I think overall India would be happy. I don't see India losing this test match unless England bat absolutely brilliantly in the first innings. Joe Root gets a double hundred. It is possible, and this England team is capable of doing that. But I think the probability wise, I think India should not lose this test match from here on.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of bowling for England, you had Shoaib Bashir, who did pick up 3 wickets. He bowled tirelessly, but he didn't have much help from the other end, because you could see that the others were tiring, especially the faster bowlers, Josh Tong, and you had Bryden Cars, tiring slowly but surely. Though they did keep picking up wickets, they kept bowling short. Uh, you think they could have tried anything different?
I think they bowled well with the new ball. I think Chris Wokes was the pick of the bowlers with the new ball, but there was not. And again, I think at 211 for five, they were. I mean, I think they got a bit complacent. They thought they'll run, they'll run the Indian tail out, and they'll wrap up India for less than 300. But that did not happen. Jadeja and Gill, just batted brilliantly. Did not give many chances. I thought they were hampered by Bryden Cass's foot injury. There is some problem. Clearly, he's not landing properly. He was not looking anywhere close to the bowler he was at Leeds. Chris Woakes' opening spell was good, but not much thereafter. One thing which surprised me was, none of the England bowlers, except for the first spell of Chris Woakes, they got any movement either off the seam or any swing. But as soon as Akashdeep started bowling with the new ball, and even Mohammad Siraj, they got a lot of seam movement and a lot of swing, at least in the first spell. So that's, and conditions were almost similar. So a little bit of a surprise for me that how the Indian bowlers got a bit of seam and swing going, and not the English bowlers.
Yeah, and when England came out to bat, they were in early trouble, because Akashdeep picked up 2 wickets. Again, just like in the previous Test match, India picking up 2 wickets in 2 balls. Uli Pope and Ben Duckett. Ben Duckett's catch, especially taken by the skipper in the third slip, was fantastic. It just stuck in his hand, and Uli Pope falling first ball. Uh, and then Siraj also picked up the wicket of Zach Crawley, and you could sense that there is something different about the body language of the Indians, especially of their skipper Shubman Gill, because he appeared a lot more in control yesterday. Maybe it's just 20 overs, not much of a sample size, but he appeared a lot more in control. And I particularly like the fact that when there was an opportunity that the umpire would have called play, at about 6:29 p.m. UK time. The Indians wanted an extra over, then pushed for an extra over. The body language looked good.
Absolutely. I think Indians, they started off brilliantly with the ball. I think Akashdeep and Siraj both bowled good length. I think the length was the key. They bowled a little fuller. They allowed the ball to swing. The line was also brilliant on around the off stump. And, they got extra bounce. So they troubled the English batters. And English batters, again playing baseball, they were a bit loose. The shot, Zach Crawley played. It was, not it was not the kind of shot you'll expect an opener to play. Ollie Pope, the way he got out to Akashdeep, two brilliant catches by India. Rahul on the bounce. Shubman Gill's catch was an excellent catch. So, setting the example straight. If you notice, Yashasvi Jaiswal was fielding in the deep. He was not in the slip cordon after what happened at Leeds. But India caught well, and they've started off with two excellent catches, which will give a lot of confidence to the rest of the team for the rest of the days in this test match, because catches was the main reason India lost the test at Leeds. Those two catches in the slips will give them a lot of confidence. Akashdeep and Siraj starting well with the ball would also tell them that they can get wickets with the new ball and otherwise, even without Jasprit Bumrah, which is very important for India, given that Bumrah is not playing the entire five tests in this series, Chandresh.
So the third day's play, what do you see happening in this third day?
I think this is the partnership which will define this match. If Joe Root and Harry Brook are not dismissed within the first hour and a half or so, you know, I mean, they are capable of anything. One is an all-time great Joe Root. One is a potential all-time great Harry Brook. Uh, I mean, they could do what Jadeja and Gill did, and even better that. So, key partnership. If they get one of them early, Ben Stokes, Jamie Smith, India can have a huge lead in the first innings, dictate the course of play, and don't be surprised it can be 1-all very quickly. But if they don't, then we are looking for then I think if Joe Root and Harry Brook go on, there's a 150 200 partnership. Then I think this test match could end in a draw.
So let's see what happens in this test match. The third day's play, we'll review that right here on cricketworld.com. All you have to do is log on to cricketworld.com and also like this video, share this video, subscribe, and comment and be part of the conversation that Nikhil and I are going to have right through this India tour of England. This was just the second day's play review in the second test match. We'll be back with the third day's review right here on cricketworld.com. Until then, take very good care of yourselves. It's goodbye and God bless from both Nikhil and myself.